back to Marriage and Relationships, and tonight we are talking about time in a relationship with Eva Musyoka. And back to you, Eva. What are the tips for giving time in a relationship?
When we're talking about the tips, we mean in case it's a challenge, what can you do so that you can provide time, and also so that you can do it in a quality way. We had looked earlier at the importance of giving quality time. It's not just about giving time, but we need quality time. So first of all, the first thing that you should apply there is priority. There are so many things that I am doing. So if I'm doing a lot of things, there are some things I don't do because they are not as important. Anybody that is serious in life will plan their day ahead. They will concentrate on things that are important. There are some things that are not important in life. So those ones you can tell yourself, I don't have to do it now. So when it comes to your relationship, you need to prioritize it. If you don't prioritize it, there is no time you will find yourself free in your 24 hours of the day. Have you ever had a friend who always tells you that they haven't gotten time? Yeah. It's true, because you can never get time. You have to prioritize your relationship. You have to plan. When do I attend to it? And if you do that, you will find time for it. Number two is how you're going to do it. We have already talked about the need for you to apply understanding. You need to put it in a time when the two of you will be comfortable. The two of you will be available, including your minds. If I run away from the office when I shouldn't, and then I go and meet you, chances are I'll be thinking about what if my boss just walks into the office now and finds that I'm not there. So plan it with understanding. Don't force the other person to avail themselves in a time when they cannot. Plan it in a way that the two of you will be available. Plan it in a time when your minds will be able to concentrate. Number three, there are issues of safety. If you're meeting a person for the first time, and you know that there are some relationships like that, where you have never met this person, and you're going to meet them for the first time, because this world has now become a village, you can marry somebody from Japan. So if that is going to happen, don't just go alone. We have seen stories of where some people are told to go and meet someone who said they loved them, probably in their social media, and the next thing you see is that somebody was murdered. And the murder is realized so late that we do not even know where this person is anymore. So you need to stay safe. Let some people know where you are going, especially in the initial stages where you do not know who you are going to meet. We have also talked about the importance of your venue. Don't plan to meet in Mombasa and you don't have a chopper and you have one day. If you're going to plan such a journey, then you need to plan it maybe when you're on leave so that you can be able to get there. You know, there are some unrealistic plans you can make. You want to meet in town for 1 hour, and that is between 5 and 6, and you leave the office at 5. So, and you're working very far away from town. The likelihood is that one person will get there, and the other one will be very upset because they waited for you all the while, and you are just telling them you're in the traffic. So you have also to consider the viability of your plan. Yeah, so those are some of the tips that you apply when it comes to giving quality time.
And is it good to have time apart maybe in a relationship?
Very important. What happens is that when you fall in love for the first time, you're very excited, very emotionally involved, and some people totally lose their balance. You need to understand that if you're getting into a relationship and you want to get married, the other part of life will still continue. This happens majorly with the young people who may not be very emotionally balanced. So what happens is that they forget one part of their lives. I have had stories of people who dropped out of school and went to live in a man's house. In fact, there is one story that is very, very sad of a young lady who was actually schooling out of the country, came for holiday in Kenya, hooked up with a man. The parents escorted them back to the airport after the holidays. I don't know whether they actually got into the plane or they did not get into the plane, or maybe they went there and they had a ticket back. But the next thing that the parent knew is that the lady was already back in Kenya, living in a man's house. Only after a few years, the man finds this woman very irrelevant because she's not schooled. She did not go to school. So when you get into a relationship, you need to understand it is important to spend time apart. One, because you must give time to other areas of life. Most people will get into relationships when they are maybe in college or university. Now, if you can't spend time together, it means you won't go to class. You will not do anything on your studies. Your life stops, in short. No. You must be able to stay apart. Apart from that, if you meet every day, there is a likelihood it will get monotonous. In fact, one of the challenges that people have when they relate for so long is the fact that you get used to someone until you stop appreciating them. And that is what happens when you meet every day continuously.
Let me cut you short.
Yes.
Talking of dating so long, for how long? Meaning, so maybe someone can date maybe for how long? How long can someone date?
So you're asking how long is long?
Yes, how long is long? Because you're saying you find someone maybe who has dated for a very long time. Mm-hmm. How long is that long now?
You know, the first question I would ask there is why? Why you're taking the length of time you're taking. When we start with the short ones, if you realize that you just met someone and they're in a hurry to marry you, there are a lot of questions involved. Most of the times, there is something to hide. They are trying to marry you before you discover there is a skeleton in the cupboard. So you cannot just come and tell me, I am knowing you today and in the next 3 months you want to marry me.
And what if it's someone maybe who is, let's talk about age. Let's include age.
Yes.
Someone who is, let's say a man who is 35. Mm-hmm. And that's a man who maybe he doesn't have a wife, yes, but he wants to settle. Yes. And maybe you've dated like, let's say those few months.
Yes.
You're trying to say that you should not marry the guy, maybe he's hiding something or...
Yes, it is too risky. You see, marriage is a lifetime commitment. The day I said yes to my husband, and I went before the altar, and I said, yes, I do, there was no day I was planning to terminate that marriage after discovering some things. So why hurry? I'm going to get married for the next, if we are going to live until we are 100 or 120, you have almost a century with me. So I don't think there is any reason why anyone should enter into marriage before they are able to establish a few facts. The likelihood is that within those short months, you will not be able to know where this person comes from. You will not be able to know his circle of friends. You will not be able to know his family for real. You know, some people can act. Some people can act. But as we talked about time earlier, time is a revealer. You cannot hide for too long. But if I agree quickly, you can hide. It's when you get married, you discover, man, I made a big mistake. So I would rather take a longer time to know you. If you are a new brother in church, most of these people are new. They just come and they are very zealous. The first thing, you do not even know whether they are saved or not. At this point, you are allowed to first of all believe you don't know whether they are saved or not. Give yourself time. Watch. If a person comes to church, they join almost every department. They are serving in the choir. They are serving in intercessory. They are usher. They are everywhere. Give them time. After some time, if they are not for real, they will get tired.
Pretending.
Yes, they will get tired. Some people are drunkards. I've heard stories of ladies who a man came to church, was very saved, had the biggest testimony. They go ahead and get married, and the man resumes his drinking lifestyle. And you're told from today, the last service you attended was the last one. I've had people who are even maybe Muslims. They come to church, they get married. The day you leave, you're going for your honeymoon, they disclose to you that, in fact, they are an imam. So from today, forget about Christianity. You are a Muslim by force. If you cannot agree, either your head will go or something. So give it time, give it time. When it comes to long ones, my brother, get married. You cannot tell me you are dating me for 7 years. For what? For what? You know, the question is why? Is it that you're looking for money? What are you looking for that you don't have? You know, sometimes all you need to do is you love someone and you are alive. You can start from there. And you look for something to do. As long as you're not the brothers that wake up by midday and brush their teeth and go out to the balcony. After that, you go and watch TV while your legs are on the table and the lady is working very hard to feed you. No, no, no. Find something to do. It doesn't have to be earning you $1 million, but as long as you have somewhere to start, get married. Get married. There are people we call chief daters. They are chronic bachelors. Their identity has been a bachelor for the last 10 years, and they always have women in their lives. No, no, if it is getting that long, there's something we call commitment. I mean, that relationship is actually likely to break at the end because you will know this person's weaknesses, you know their abilities, what they cannot do, and then you start looking down on them. You don't need to cope with that in a relationship. You know, the reason why you're excited about someone is because you like their strengths. You like what is beautiful about them. The time you start discovering their weaknesses, especially all of them, that day you will change your mind and say, I think I should look for somebody better. So long relationships tend to have that tendency. Somebody dates you for 7 years, they waste your time, and then they tell you, I don't think I can marry you. So I would not encourage that one. There is also the likelihood of you get too close until you move into somebody's house. You're not married, you're just doing what we call come we stay. And come we stay is fornication day 1, is fornication day 2, is fornication for 1 year, is fornication for 2 years. You even get children, but in the eyes of God, you're doing the wrong thing until you make it right. So it's better to marry than to get to that extent, trying to date for so long. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Madam Eva. Thank you so much for coming tonight and sharing with us time in relationship. We've been talking about time in relationship, and tonight we've come to the end of our program. We've had time is money, so be precious with your time, value your time. I'm your host, Mercy Kiere. Have a blessed night.